What's up, y'all? This is Tiffany, your self-love life coach, and today I want to talk to the people who settle. What does it mean to settle? To settle means to set in place. And it got me to thinking about the movie The Truman Show with Jim Carrey. Remember how he would get up every day, take care of his family, go to work, but at some point during the day, he kind of felt like as if something was off, something wasn't going right. He felt like as if he was dissatisfied, yet he still kept doing the same shit every single day. That's kind of how life is, right? We kind of go about life, with these habits that we've created for ourselves, and we never really question it. We just kind of do the same thing every single day and wonder why it is that we feel dissatisfied with our lives. Part of the reason we are dissatisfied is because we have all been socialized to retain certain behaviors and values that don't necessarily represent our true selves. So for example, when I was a little girl, my father always told me to treat people the way that I wanted to be treated. And it didn't matter how good or bad a person treated me, I was expected to treat people the way that I wanted to be treated. Now, some may say that that's an honorable thing to teach a child, which it is. That's fair to say. But at the same time, I grew up believing that I had to treat people kindly or give to people regardless of how they treated me. So I could have been devalued. I could have been mistreated in any kind of way, and I was still expected to just accept that, regardless of how that felt for me. And that wasn't a representation of who I truly am. The person that I truly am is someone that knows or should know her value. But I wasn't taught what my value was in the beginning. I was taught to value others before I valued myself. So I read a quote the other day by Marshawn Evans Daniels, and it said, if you allow yourself to settle for less, no one is obligated to stop you. And what that kind of brought home for me was that, yes, I was taught to treat others the way that I wanted to be treated, but I also grew up expecting that because I treated people in a way that I wanted to be treated, that they would in turn treat me also the way that I want to be treated. And that's not the case. It's just kind of like I'm sitting here selling or giving away donuts for free. And then someone comes over to me, takes one of my donuts, and says thank you. And I get upset because I'm like, well shit, you're not even gonna offer me a donation? That's ridiculous, because I'm not setting the standard. I'm not saying, hey, these donuts are free, but I would like a donation as well. What I'm saying is that what I'm doing is just giving away my resources, depleting my resources, without even setting the standard for what it is that I expect in return. So why is it that we expect people to bring us value? And it's pretty much because we're set in our ways. I mean, we have been taught since elementary school to behave a certain way. If we act a certain way, if we be good, we'll get that damn sticker, right? If we, and then we carry that on through high school and into college, and we want to get that scholarship, and then when we get that job, we want to make sure that our boss approves of us because we want that promotion, and we want to get that bonus at the end of the year, so we're putting in overtime and triple time, and then we're going home and we're amongst friends and our partner, and we're putting in all of this, we're giving a lot of ourselves to these relationships, and we may or may not be asking for something, but we may not be asking for much. And what we do is we just accept what is given to us, as opposed to setting the standard for what it is that we definitely deserve, what it is that our value dictates that we deserve. And so instead of doing that, we, like I said, we are pretty set in our ways, and so we become set in devaluing ourselves. We become set in settling for less. So what's the solution, right? I think that if you are beginning to feel unsettled, you're off to a great start, because you are becoming more mindful. And another thing is that you have to learn how to hit the reset button. And what I mean about reset is not just hitting restart and then ramping back up and doing the same shit all over again. I'm talking about completely resetting your belief system so that you are projecting a person that has values that are more in alignment with who you truly are. So for example, you know, if you are staying late at work and you are being overworked and underpaid and undervalued, I think that if your boss or your colleagues need a little extra help and they want you to stay later, you can say, hey, you know, I can't do that today because I have something to do after work. Or if you have a partner that expects you to come home and cook and clean and, you know, do everything, I think it's safe to say that, hey, if you want me to cook, I'm gonna need you to prepare the food before I get there. You know, make sure that the meat is defrosted. Or can you help out with the kids? If you have, you know, if you are continually receiving phone calls from somebody that kind of gives you a negative energy, I think it's safe to say you can ignore that motherfucker. Or, you know, take it a step further and block them. You know, trust me, you will feel better about it later on. I've done it. But the point is that you have to kind of get into a habit of repetition, of recreating boundaries for yourself so that you are reintroducing yourself as a person that has a higher standard of value, and you're no longer gonna just accept or settle for less moving forward. That's all I have for you today. Thank you for listening. This is Tiffany, your self-love life coach, and the motive of the day was be mindful of what you're settling for. Again, thanks again for listening, and I'll talk to you again soon.